Welcome to Focus on the Candidates, my brand new Rumble and YouTube channel. And my first guest on my new channels is Gonzalo Duran, and he's going to talk about the party that he formed and how he's doing. So you've got the platform.
Thank you, Cynthia. So yes, well, it's not exactly a party, but for the there was a situation that I saw coming up with a lot of candidates this year, where I am the Republican and conservative candidate for public advocate for New York City. But what I was petitioning out there, I noticed a lot of candidates that were either not prepared or that I knew were not going to make the ballot. So in the back of my mind, I thought about how I could help them, because I spent the last, let's say, 4 months of my life dedicated to helping candidates to get on the ballots. That includes conservatives, that includes Republicans, knocking on doors, getting signatures, helping with their campaign events, etc. And then when that gap period before the independent line, which there's no independent party, and New York City and New York, excuse me, New York only has 4 party lines. We have this option of an independent line where we can create our own party and run for office as well. The rules are a little bit different. You have to have the same amount of signatures or percentage wise as, let's say, the Democratic Party, I believe, or roughly amount. And then you have to have individuals that haven't signed before, and people. But the good thing about it is that you can have any signature from any party member, and or somebody who's just could be a registered voter. So that gives you a lot more opening to be able to speak to somebody on the streets and say, look, I'm running for office, I'm running on the independent line, I just need a signature. So with that mind and concept, my background in building up organizations, businesses, and etc., I decided to start an organization. Well, actually, I was just trying to start a party line, and it turned into an organization. So we had 22 candidates from across New York City interested in participating with the United Alliance Party. And out of the 22, 16 were dedicated to doing the paperwork. And then from there, we had 7. At the moment, we have 7 candidates that looks like they're going to make the ballot. So we're batting 100 for 100 right there, which I'm so happy about. And I believe that's the most independent candidates in one line. So I believe I can say that now, because the only other one that submitted more than me was the United Party line, who I do not know is running that. But they had a lot of errors with their paperwork and stuff like that when I saw the ledger from the Board of Elections. So we're looking good there, and I'm looking strong to trying to build it up, because now that we have 7 candidates from different parties, different parts of the city, and running for different positions, I mean, it's incredible.
So before Andrew Cuomo stepped down as governor, he raised the threshold of what an independent candidate needs to get on the ballot. So for the positions that you're talking about, what was the number before and what's the number now?
Yes, so let's say I don't know what it was before. I would assume it was based off the percentage of how many people were within your party, just like it is for the conservative Republicans as well.
Is
So
it 5%, right?
I believe it's 5%, but there's always like a catch. It's either 5% or lower depending on different things, like the
Mhm.
year, the amount, etc., like that. But we went off of the 5% rule, um, and then uh, for that, not only, so let's say for public advocate, I had to get roughly 3,700 and something signatures,
Right.
and the borough president had to get over 1,000, and then every city council candidate had to get 450. But the good thing about it, and once again, this is not something that's normally done. we weren't working as individuals, we were working as a group. So
Mhm.
the people in Queens, the people in Bronx, the people in Brooklyn were collecting signatures, not only from themselves, but they were collecting from me. And what we did, let's say our plan of action was, since I'm a by trade, I'm a paper pusher. I'm an administrator. So what I did was I partner up with Pulpo Consulting, who's headed by Isaiah Vega, who's also my campaign manager. And Isaiah is more of the mastermind of the groups, the candidates around the city, where I am as the paper pusher, the more administrative guy. So what we did was we opened the doors for any candidate, no matter what party. You know, we're not red, we're not blue, we're in the middle. We're open for people to just try. We want people to run for office. If you are able to qualify, we want you to be able to run, and that's our motto right there. So what we did was we decided to help them with the administrative part. That means getting their petitions issued for them. They would have to do the getting the signature part. We would help with canvassing. Myself. I'm the coordinator for the Conservative Party for New York City, and then I've done a lot with the Republican Party as well. So I'm well in tune with that. So helping to learn how to canvas, how to get the signatures, giving little training at the same time, and then helping with getting bodies to help canvas as well. And then at the end part, submitting the paperwork to the Board of Election, getting the documents together, issuing reviews, getting the cover sheets, etc. So we did the bulk of the paperwork while we helped individuals get the signatures. And I'm proud to say that once again, we submitted for a total of 7, and we got all 7. So far, it looks like all 7 was going to be able to make it.
That sounds like an awful lot of work.
Yes, it was. So while at the same time doing all this, I'm going to events, doing delegation stuff for my parties or the other parties as well. So I do want to backtrack with something. It was something that Cuomo did. He Before there used to be an independent party, that was one, and there used to be multiple parties, the Libertarians, the Green
Right.
Party, etc. And to consolidate power not only for himself but the Democratic Party. This is before my time, um, within the last 10 years, but he was able to eliminate all the additional parties plus the independent, and now it's illegal for any individual party to call themselves the independent party. So that's not you're not able to do it anymore. And now, for let's say an organization that wants to become a party, I think you would need like a bare minimum of like 130,000 votes or something like that. So although I don't see the United Alliance Party making that jump this year, I am looking towards dedicating this to something bigger in the future, and maybe even continuing it year after year.
So I know for a statewide candidate who's not either a Democrat or a Republican, the number of signatures that they need to get on the ballot used to be 15,000. It jumped up to 45,000. 45,000 signatures in a month. That is almost monumental.
Yes, and so you have to think not just the amount of work that it takes, but the money, the you now, because the money, that's one thing, but then the manpower that you're going to need for that is going to be triple, and then on top of that, you have to remember there's people that are going to kind of challenge you. So the idea is always to get 2 to 3 times more than what you actually need. So I mean that's a ridiculous amount. It's a ridiculous amount.
You know, I'm a pretty, I'm a observer of politics, and I see both parties right now failing the citizens of this country. If the incumbents and the leaders in both parties make it difficult for a third party candidate to get on the ballot. If the major parties are failing the people, what's to happen?
Well, I mean, you can see what's happening right now. People have so much distaste and disdain for the part of the electoral process in general. And this is where we see we hear the stories of dead people signing signatures or famous celebrities signing as well these petitions, and we know they're not true and then become, issues and problems. These are the factors that are coming in now. People, trying to get people just to run for just to vote is a difficult process. Like, I think the average number has been like 20% for the last mayoral race for people to come out and vote. And I don't know the larger scale numbers, but I can tell you for, let's say, the city councils, the norm, you know, let's say for the 17th city council district 2 years ago, out of 180,000 residents in that area, 80,000 are registered to vote, 60,000 are Democrats, and the Democratic Party easily won with like over 3,000 votes. So we're in the comparison. Can we fight that? In my point of view, the Republican conservative parties should be focusing on the lower level, the grassroots candidates, and supporting them instead of supporting the higher ups. But that's just my opinion.
Mhm. So, you have a slate of what, 7?
So at the moment, we have a 7 slated, and with a possibility of 8 coming. But we're not sure at the moment.
Okay, what positions are they running for?
So I'm on the top of the ticket running for public advocate. I believe we have one for Queensborough president and then we have a few in city council. I believe 2 in Queens, 1 in Brooklyn, and the rest are in the Bronx.
Okay. Now, there's quite a number of city council members, right?
Yes. So there's 51 city council members in office.
Okay, let's say your candidates did win in November. They're gonna be outgunned in on the city council. Will they be able to get anything done?
Well, I mean, right now, let's say when it comes to Democrats to Republicans, I think there's only maybe 4 or 5 Republicans, and only a few of those are registered or endorsed by the Conservative Party. So it's already a hard situation. Every single seat that anybody wins that's outside the Democratic Party is an accomplishment, and every single person that you put in means that there's going to be change in some form. Is it possible to get legislative done? No, it's not as simple as that. You still have to fight the battles and you have to come out strong. But in the end of the day, until these incumbents or these elected officials feel that their positions are threatened, then there's not going to be any change at all for years to come.
Wow. I give you credit for doing what you're doing, you know. It's in your blood because it's hard work.
Well, I can tell you right now, I was a registered Democrat my whole life.
Mhm.
Since the age of 18 when I joined the Marines. When I needed my driver's license, I checked the box for Democrat because back in the day, from what I was told, Democrats were for the poor and Republicans were for the rich. And over time, coming back home out of the service, I saw how rigged the system is, and I was disgusted by the Democratic machine. I want to make it very clear: I'm not against the Democratic Party. I'm against the Democratic machine and the way they have weaponized everything to do with the electoral process in the Bronx and New York City as well. And 2.5 years ago, I made a pledge and I made it publicly, and I wrote an article about it as well on fighting the Democratic Party. I joined, I had run, I was running for city council, and I knew they were going to kick me off the ballot. So at the same time, I took interviews. I took interviews with the I took interviews with the other parties, and and the only one that got back to me was the Conservative Party. And at the time, I told them what my plans were, and I'm sure they just shrugged it off. They're like, yeah, everybody says they're gonna bring more people in. Everybody's gonna say they're gonna bring media and do all this stuff, and they were surprised when I actually got it done. And I brought attention to the party. Everything that I could have done, or let me explain what I did first to be clear. Within 3 months of joining, or excuse me, after within 3 months or within the first month, I petitioned, and I got all the signatures that you needed for in the South Bronx, and which was one of the first individuals in maybe 3 or 4 cycles to make the South Bronx conservative candidate. Then at the same time, I increased or filled the vacancy positions that were there. And then within 3 months from getting on the line, I became the district leader for the 79th district. 3 months from there, I became the vice chairman. Within that first year, we increased the party borough-wide by 15%. We did it again, 15% the next year or more. I think it was more, but I haven't checked the numbers, but I'm pretty sure it was over 20. Then we filled all the other vacancies for state assembly and then in the county committees. Then we put in, out of the 21 legislative positions, we put in 18. We put in for 21, but we got 18. This particular year, we put in for 13 and we got 12. So not only have we been in the media, we increased our media visibility. We have filled candidate slates. We have events going on. We've increased our numbers borough-wide. But we've also, if you take what I did this independent line as well, we broke numbers and scales again. So this is what the Democratic Party lost because of their tactics on not wanting to have people outside of their own party or their own little within in a circle to run for office. And the more they keep on squeezing, the more people like me are going to find venues to go and then come around and attack them even more. They've already lost the presidency. The House is already split, and they're going to continue to lose mobility in the coming months. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to take time. But like I said, when I started this 2.5 years ago, I'm dedicated and I'm going to fight back.
Would you say that the ultimate battleground will be the House in 2026?
Well, I would say before that, because once the closer we get to Trump leaving office, leaves everybody else vulnerable. We don't have another figure like him within the Republican Party. And I believe if us at the ground level can't keep a strong foundation, then that's where it's going to hurt everybody the most. For example, the Conservative Party. It started in 1962. And if you have the mindset that most people were in their 30s or 40s when they joined, roughly that age, they're dying out. So if you're not replacing those numbers, then it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And for a proud moment for myself to tell you the level of work that I've done, in all of New York City, there's only one section within the Conservative Party that is submitting candidates for office at large scales. And that's the Bronx Conservative Party. Everywhere else are Republicans with the conservative lines or Democrats with the conservative line. But Conservative Party members running for office at large scale is only done in the Bronx at the moment. So that shows you the dedication and hard work that I've put in. Now, every single entity is losing out. The Democrats lost me and my dedication right there. The Conservative Party is gaining, but they're also still losing as well because they haven't. Although I would say that I'm a leader within them, they haven't put me in the position to even go more further, which I think I could if given the opportunity.
Mhm. So you're running, are you in a primary?
No, so I am fortunate that I am the only citywide candidate that didn't receive any challenges, and I would dedicate that to two things. One, from everything I just told you of all the hard work that I've done, that's people have seen that. They've seen a hard work that I've been trying to do, how the work that I've been doing has been visible and respectable in every single way. And the second reason is because I made allies across the board. I am the first candidate, citywide candidate, to be endorsed by the New York Young Republicans Club, also by the Donald J. Trump Kings County Club, and other organizations as well. So I've made friends across the board. I've been working with the Republicans, the conservatives, common sense Democrats. The last event that I threw for me was the valuable candidate event. I think it was last Friday, and we had candidates from all over New York City attend, that were from Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Manhattan, Republicans, conservatives, and we did invite common sense Democrats as well. And it was a beautiful event to see all these individuals come together and have an opportunity to speak, because one of the biggest problems that we don't have at the moment is candidates being able to speak right now, because all the attention is going to the Democratic Party. And then you would assume that right after the primaries are done for the Democrats, that we would get an opportunity, but it's far and few in between. Let's say somebody like Curtis Seal was going to get a lot of attention in the mayoral race, but very small after that.
Hmm. He's the only Republican running, so he's gonna win the Republican nod, you know.
I don't believe he has a primary, so he has it already.
Okay. Do you think that his chances of winning are small or great?
I think his chances are winning are a lot better with me as his running mate. My goal right now is to try to increase the numbers where it's, for I think about the EDs right now, the electoral districts. So when Trump came, you noticed that the Black and Hispanic community increased, I think 3 or 4 times fold over. So my goal is to look at those areas where it used to be blue and then turned it either a little bit red or almost red, and
Mhm.
try to get more of those to push in, because in certain areas that are completely red, that you're going to vote for him. So I'm not concerned with those areas. I'm concerned with getting those bluish, close to red areas to vote for him, or blue areas to vote for him. And I believe that we can get that done. And so I think his chances are greater now than they were before.
Greater, do you think that the favorite for the Democrats is Andrew Cuomo?
Well, I don't think. I mean, you can see the polls right now, everything that's going around, the money that's being thrown at him. It's pretty obvious that he's gonna win it.
Wow. So you're running against Jemani Williams, right?
Yes, yes, I am.
How's that going?
Well, once again, it's going to be a hard uphill battle, because most likely he's going to choose not to do any debates, or he's not going to do any situations unless the media does its job and try to get us to be more vocal. Then it's going to be the same thing that happens. But I don't look at it that way. My goal is to increase Curtis's number, and at the same time increase the candidates across the city's numbers by helping them get visibility, helping them get the opportunities to run for office, speaking engagements, media attention, etc. Whatever I can do to help out across the board, that's my goal. Like, independent media is our saving grace right now, but we should be on the top of the board for the mainstream media as well.
When you say independent media, what outlets are you talking about?
Well, like yourself, you're here, giving me the opportunity to talk about the United Alliance Party and politics in general. There's different areas. There's public access. There's local journalism as well. We need those in in to try to keep ourselves visible to the community.
Mhm. So, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, I would say that obviously my goal right now is to win the race. Um, and it can only be done by one simple thing, and it's the support of the people. The votes are going to come only if we can get the people to be more active within everything. And I'm not just talking about the votes. It's just not about the votes. It's about contributing to candidates' races, unifying, giving us resources. Look, if you don't want to give money, then what you can do is give resources, availability. You can open your business to us. You can donate resources to us. Look, something as simple as giving us, let's say, flags, American flags, many dozens and dozens of American flags could give us an opportunity as a speaking point to individuals. And then one of the biggest thing it would be giving us a platform, a place to speak, holding a fundraiser for us. There's only so much a candidate can do without an invitation. So invite us to openings, invite us to events that you can give us a platform to speak. I think the biggest problem that we have right now when it comes to being Republican or conservative is that there are a lot of people that are not happy with the Democratic Party, but they are afraid to speak out vocally because everybody around them is a Democrat or supposedly a Democrat. So I think as more candidates get out there to speak and are visible, then that will open the conversation for individuals to support us. And then at the end of the result, more votes for us at the end of the day. So thank you to the candidates out there. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and it won't be the last time.
So if somebody wants to contact you, donate or volunteer for your campaign, how can they do so?
If anybody wants to reach out to me, you can check out my website at www.gonzaloduran.nyc. You can email me at gonzaloduranyc@gmail.com. And you feel free to check out all my social media. It's at Gonzalo Duran NYC. So thank you, and God bless America, everyone.
Thank you, Gonzalo. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a wonderful day.